In contribution to creating what you desire, it's very important to keep into consideration the concept of the golden rule. What we're really looking to create in the outer world is harmony. Harmony within, reflected, externalized as harmony without. The kingdom of heaven is within. Harmoniousness means different elements in reality externalized that are individual based. In other words, each individual has their own definition of harmony. However, we come to the realization that all are individual expressions of the same mind, and as we evolve past thinking that does not serve us from a place of ignorance, of understanding, we evolve into a perspective of what Neville mentions, everyone is you pushed out. So thus, at that level of realization, you would never do unto others what you wish wouldn't be done unto you. And the law is what you do unto others will come back to you. Words have the power to heal. Words have the power to hurt. But who are we really hurting and who are we healing? Well, we hurt an other, or we heal another, externalized, or we also, in the process, realize that we hurt ourselves. When you heal another, you heal yourself. When you say, I want to heal another, but I don't need healing myself, you fail to realize that to the degree that you are self-persuaded, they will become so. Self-persuasion in your own healing is externalized as their healing. Self-persuasion in your own success is externalized as their success. In leadership, we go first. We take the role and create change in our organization by recognizing that our people that are within our organization are a reflection of us. Bring me an organization, and I could tell you about their leader. All people reflect the leader. The leader reflects the organization. That's because the outer world is a reflection of the inner world, and we are those that we surround ourselves with. And consciousness is awareness. Awareness is what is within our awareness. What is within our awareness? What is within our awareness is the reflection of the thoughts we hold in our mind, the belief systems that we have. And while we are in the process of evolving the beliefs and thoughts, we have to remember the rule of consciousness, which is the state of being awake and aware of one's surrounding. On this journey, we also understand that as our consciousness rises, so does our ability to handle complexity. So I state, as consciousness rises, the level of complexity of consciousness increases, and our ability to live with the complexity also increases. This is called flow. Flow is where challenge meets skill. You embrace more challenge, you are stimulated by more challenge, by placing yourself in more challenge so that you could raise your consciousness. And when you understand how to overcome the challenge, your consciousness increases again. So complexity is being presented, and this is interpreted as challenge. We give meaning to it. Either it encourages us or it sets us back, all based on our beliefs and meaning within. And we either embrace the complexity and rise up to a higher level of consciousness, or we feel overwhelmed by the complexity, which is based on the meaning within. The meaning within, the ultimate meaning within, is the golden rule. Do unto others as you wish done unto yourself. And as we can see here on this chart, many different religions all say the same thing. Never do to others what would pain you. Hurt not another with what which hurt you. Do not to others what is not well for oneself. One who neglects existence disregards their own existence. Do not impose on others what you do not yourself desire. Regard your neighbor's loss or gain as your own loss or gain. Desire not for anyone the things you would not desire for yourself. What is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. Do unto all people as you would they should do unto you. Treat others as you would be treated yourself. Now, I focus a lot on my channel on the journey of entrepreneurship, creating success. And as we do so, as we bring forth our desires, as we create success, our consciousness increases. And when we reflect back on our journey, we realize that it was the golden rule that contributed to our success. This is why Neville always put emphasis on the golden rule. If you apply the golden rule, and it has been internalized in your subconscious mind, then in the bridge of incidents, it is expressed as the various elements of people, environment, circumstance, and information to realize your definite chief aim or what you desire. Now, as your consciousness rises, so does your ability to understand the concept of God realization or divine relationship, and this continues for infinity. What is then found is individual spirituality and a deeper understanding of infinite intelligence, which can be expressed through creative expression and innovation in service to others. So then the golden rule is to be in service to others, which is also being in service to self. The outer world is a reflection of the inner world. When you do unto others as you wish done unto yourself, your consciousness increases through the journey of bringing forth what you desire, and you bring forth what you desire in the most harmonious way. When we bring forth what we desire, we want it done in a way that does not have side effects that reflect back to us as inharmonious circumstances, people, information, and environment as a result of the desire that was created from the perspective of violation of the golden rule. Manning P. Hall says, "Honesty is the deadly enemy of black magic, and that it holds no terrors for the individual who is true to himself and true to the golden rule. He can protect his own soul and those he loves from its insidious and unnatural influences." All thought is magic. This is very important to understand. Thought creates reality. So I created this statement here that I want us to reflect upon. All thought is magic, understood upon reflection of the bridge of incidents, or not understood based on current level of consciousness, at one level while understood deeper as infinite intelligence. So what does this mean? You might not be able to track the cause and effect relationship of thought into existence, but as your consciousness rises, and should you choose to understand the cause and effect relationship, it'll be demystified to you and you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to prove it accordingly, and you will see it as a science. Another important element to reflect is if you don't understand it, it doesn't mean that you need to understand it to bring forth what you desire. As Neville once stated, "Impress it, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and let the being within you bring it forth." The being within you brings it forth through the concept of infinite intelligence. You don't know how it is brought forth, but through the faith it is brought forth. We also have to remember that we attract who we are and draw about the forces to our aid via our beliefs. What beliefs do we hold in our mind? We attract the forces of the beliefs that we hold in our mind. If the beliefs we have in our mind are of the golden rule, then we attract the forces to bring forth our desires based on the golden rule, be they concrete, tangible forces or the invisible forces of mind. The words we speak carry less weight than the intent driving them, and the intent driving them is the language of the law of correspondence. So there's words, and many people have different meanings for different words. Some words like money, success, spirituality, faith, conjure up different symbols and meanings that are steered up in the imagination and impressed on the subconscious mind to create reality accordingly. So it's not just the words, but the intent behind the words. A lot of times we may get stuck if somebody says one word and it prevents us from evolving because of the word that they used. Because it's unknown to us, or we have assumed a belief surrounding that word, we assume that that belief is the absolute fact based on the level of identification we have on that word. However, it's the intent within that allows us to tap into the powers of infinite intelligence and evolve the meaning of words to a place where harmoniousness is experienced within, or peace within, and it is externalized accordingly as the bridge of incidents leading to what you desire to create. So there's what you desire to create, whether it's entrepreneurial success, whether it's success in another area of your life, whether it's a specific desire, and then there's the meaning you give to what you have experienced in your past and what you currently experience on your way towards realizing this outcome or this desire. And speech, being the image of mind, reveals to you what you believe as far as your words go and the meaning you give to these words, which you have assimilated from others. Words, language, is something we learned from the outer world. Meaning is what we have attached to the words from others. Well, there's 5 sensory data, and then there's 6 sense data. 6 sense being the creative imagination. You have the ability to imagine different meanings for words and experiences and have it be so as contributing factors to bring forth what you desire. So it's not so much the words, it's the intent and the meaning that you give to the words, and you can change the meaning of words within. And what we want to do is align the words and all meaning to the golden rule. Do unto others as you wish done unto yourself. So in other words, if someone says a statement to you, and at one point you assumed it to disempower you, you can change that same statement to transmutation of the intent of the words within to empower you and uplift you. If someone says you can't do it, you take it as you can do it. If someone says you are not good enough, you take it as I am good enough. This is all done by changing the meaning of words. Though the modern world may know 1,000,000 secrets, the ancient world knew one. And that was greater than the 1,000,000, for the 1,000,000 secrets bred death, disaster, sorrow, selfishness, lust, and avarice. But the one secret confers life, light, and the truth. The ancients lived in cause and effect of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual like we do, and they did more so in certain circles or certain groups via the golden rule. Even if they didn't consciously understand the meaning of the cause and effect relationship, they believed in thoughts creating reality based on mystical forces that they didn't understand. And while we understand to a large degree what they once did not understand today, we are still in the process of understanding the evolution of thought. And thought keeps evolving and is based on the foundation of the golden rule. So all elevated thought then is based on the foundation of the golden rule. So the ancients live in cause and effect of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual via the golden rule, and although may not be at the level of sophistication of materialized technology, as in they didn't have the external technology of the internet and so forth, they understood that the cultivation of the technology of mind materialized as technology of the outer world. So they had the thought in mind, maintained the feeling of the wish fulfilled, assumed and had faith of the outcome of the desired state, and it externalized as the technology that was created through the bridge of incidence to reflect the thoughts with it. And the thoughts were built on the golden rule, because the golden rule states, do unto others as you wish done unto yourself. And technology is there to improve the lives of others, to automate and to create what we desire in a more harmonious way. You have access to this information today because of technology of YouTube, because of technology of the internet. This was once a vision in the mind of a person based on the golden rule, which created the technology which now allows others who also use the golden rule to provide you this information, to provide you the understanding so that you too can continue to create and innovate and bring forth what you desire from the perspective of the golden rule. Light and truth is received and expressed from within as thoughts, beliefs, visions, and creative expressions. Through not reacting to a past of fear and unjust cause and effect beliefs, primarily contained in the subconscious mind. So in order to live and create what you desire, we reflect back on congruences and incongruences within through beliefs that have embedded itself that were violating the golden rule, understanding that this reactivity that we experience to the outer world, where we feel fear, doubt, and indecision, is based on inharmonious thought that violates the golden rule that has been infused as belief, usually through past experiences. By changing the meaning of our past beliefs or experiences through pruning shears of revision, subconscious mind reconditioning, timeline regression, or any other modalities for changing subconscious beliefs that have been assumed to be true in the subconscious mind from past experiences, we align them with the golden rule. So in other words, any beliefs that we form when we evolve our beliefs through any of these modalities have to be aligned with the golden rule so that we can create what we desire in the most harmonious way. And since we are all individual expressions of the same mind, minds or individual expressions of the same mind gravitate to those that are harmonious with the golden rule. We always tend to gravitate towards those who empower us. We always listen to those who uplift our spirits. They are those that embody the golden rule. And so we listen to them, we understand them, and we also collaborate with them in the spirit of harmony because we accept them via their level of faith in the golden rule. Words are vehicles of ideas, and unless they are understood properly, misunderstanding is inevitable. As mentioned earlier, words are vehicles of ideas or symbols, and the meaning we give to words are meanings that we have learned through others or reference experience. The truth is that words can have whatever meaning you want to be harmonious to the creation that you want to see in reality, bringing forth of what you desire. And words can be evolved to a higher level of harmony with the golden rule. So if you have inharmonious attachment to words that are not in alignment with the golden rule, not from a place of denial, but from a place of understanding and acceptance, and you choose the meaning within, you can rewrite this meaning within, and you can use it to be a vehicle of ideas that are empowering towards creating what you desire. Words have variable meaning based on the understanding of the individual. As mentioned, if you say the word money to one individual, they believe it's negative and evil. You say the word money to another individual, they see it as freeing, liberating, and contribution to others. You give the word of happiness to a person, and they say it is possible, it is what they desire. You gave the same word of happiness to another person, and they don't believe it's possible. Do you believe it's possible? Do you believe it's harmonious? Is the question that we have to reflect upon when we assign meanings to words. Words evoke symbolism in the imagination of harmony or inharmony. The imagination impresses the subconscious mind and externalizes, like the five sensory data impresses the subconscious mind and externalizes. So when you read a word or you speak a word, you are evoking symbolism in your imagination, which is impressing the subconscious mind and externalizing accordingly. The confirmation biases of "I already knew that" and "I disagree" externalizes as facts through people, environment, circumstance, and information that affirm the "I already knew that" and "I disagree" to gratify ego and multiply the potentiality of reactivity, creating excess potential. In my last video, I talked about from reality transurfing, excess potential and the importance of dropping it or letting it go. Whenever we have excess potential, balancing forces arise and depolarizes the excess potential. So when you create a charge of "I already knew that" and "I disagree," you gratify the ego and you set yourself up for being more reactive for conflict for anyone that shows up or any information that shows up that challenges your beliefs. The truth is, you could accept the beliefs of yourself and understand the beliefs of others, so you could be more from a place of joy, bliss, and ease, dropping yourself out of the excess potential that polarizes you into a direction that you do not desire, to maintain the harmoniousness within, to moving in the bridge of incidence in a more harmonious way to create what you desire. Neville Goddard says, "When man discovers the law of one consciousness, he will understand the great wisdom of the golden rule, and he will live by it and prove to himself that the kingdom of heaven is on earth. You will realize why you should do unto others what which you would have done unto you. You will know why you should live by this golden rule, because you will discover that it is just good common sense to do so, since the rule is based upon life's changeless law, and is no respecter of persons. Consciousness is the one and only reality. In other words, what you wish upon others, they will do upon you. If you aim to bring forth a desire with another person, and it's inharmonious to them and harmonious to you, then you will be receiving the equivalent of that. If you bring forth a desire of one that is harmonious to them and harmonious to you, you will bring forth what you desire based on that cause and effect relationship of harmonious for yourself and them accordingly. And since heaven on earth means harmoniousness on planet Earth, it is reflected as harmony within in your inner world. So we create harmony within in the inner world via the golden rule, and it is externalized as people, environment, circumstance, and information that reflect accordingly. The world and all within it are states of consciousness objectified. Your world is defined by your conception of yourself, plus your conceptions of others, which are not their conceptions of themselves. A lot of times we might assume that someone is thinking what we think about ourselves or the circumstance. That assumption is based on the thoughts that we have within. The reality of what we believe that they are thinking is only the reality that exists in our consciousness, in our mind. So then, we can assume that they are thinking from the perspective of the golden rule, and they will externalize to the degree that you are self-persuaded that they are experiencing in their mind the thoughts that you have in your mind. That's because all are individual expressions of one mind, and this entire existence is you externalized. And since there are various states of consciousness, and all these states of consciousness are objectified, moving into the state of consciousness that reflects the golden rule within, and harmonious thoughts towards others is to also assume that they have the harmonious thoughts and believe it and assume it to be so, to observe that it is externalized accordingly. Now, this is the pathway to align with divine will. So one of the questions I get asked a lot is my desire from one of ego, or is it one that's in alignment with higher self? Well, the only person that can really answer that question is yourself, because you know your connection to the divine, and you are the only person qualified to answer that question. And the pathway to being aligned with the divine desire of bringing forth what you desire is to practice the golden rule, to ask yourself with everything that you desire, are you bringing it forth via, or are you choosing to bring it forth via the golden rule? If you choose to bring it forth via the golden rule, then you will bring it forth in the harmonious way related to the golden rule, and this is also in alignment with the divine will, because the divine rule is the golden rule, and to align the meaning of words, people, environment, circumstance, and information to the golden rule is to align with divine itself. Our desires, when understood deeply, are aligned with the divine desire. So our desires come from the superconscious. The desire to live, the desire to create, the desire to express are all pure desires. And they are either harmonious or inharmonious based on programming that is in the subconscious mind, based on past experiences and past meaning that we have associated to the various data, words, experiences that we have, and continue to express themselves in the circumstance of life. By changing the meaning through identifying how we're interpreting desires, we can evolve this programming within, and one of the best ways to do this is to ask ourselves, does the new meaning or the new beliefs that we have align with the golden rule? By aligning with the golden rule, we bring forth our desires in the most harmonious way. We also allow ourselves to uncover what our purpose is and the different elements of reality we want to experience and desire to experience, and have that brought forth in the most harmonious way, because what is then within our programming of our subconscious mind is golden rule-based elements or beliefs and assumptions of how reality works in relation to people, environment, circumstance, and information. Be very sure that you would love to possess the gift yourself, for if you fix a belief within yourself as true of another, and he does not accept this state as true of himself, this unaccepted gift will embody itself within your outer world. Always hear and accept as true of others that which you would desire for yourself. In so doing, you are building heaven on earth. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you is based upon this law. What you give to another that is not interpreted as mutually received is given back to you as cause and effect reflection data for evolution of self. On this journey of creating what you desire, there are the steps that move you forward. There are the interpretations of the different elements that show up that reveal to you that you are moving forward. Or there are the elements that may cause you to assume that you are not moving forward. And this is the data that is received by the outer world. You can take this data and reflect upon it and realize that you can change the meaning within to bring it into a place of alignment, one of in alignment with the golden rule. Physical actions, emotions, thoughts, and beliefs from within, spiritual elements, the beliefs, can be evolved to be in alignment with the outcome that you desire and the realization that you can bring it forth upon cause and effect. It is not the only way to bring forth what you desire, but it is a way that helps you on this journey value the journey as much as the destination. Some might value the destination more so than the journey. Some might value the journey more so than the destination. Upon reflection on creating success in the realms of relationship, entrepreneurship, health, wellness, and various areas of my life, I recognize that the journey is as important as the destination. The journey is riddled with reflection data, cause and effect elements, cause within externalized in the effects of the world that I could evolve by changing the programming within in my subconscious mind to bring it more in alignment so that I can bring forth what I desire in a way where the bridge of incidence shows up as harmonious. Now, it's one thing to have faith in your desire, and it's another thing to have harmonious programming within that facilitates the faith in your desire. The harmonious programming within that facilitates the faith and desire is based on the golden rule. Upon reflection of the various beliefs that you have and aligning it with the golden rule, you'll find that you'll be able to navigate existence towards the realization of what you desire in a way that is based on, how Neville puts it, heaven on earth based navigation. Now, you will understand how wise the ancient was when he told us in the Hermetica, there are two gifts which God has bestowed upon man alone, and on no other mortal creature. These are the mind and the speech, and the gift of mind and speech is equivalent to that of immortality. If a man uses these two gifts rightly, he will differ in nothing from the immortals, and when he quits his body, mind and speech will be his guides, and by them he will be brought into the troops of the gods and the souls that have attained to bliss. Speech is the image of mind and is externalized as others within our awareness to reveal ourselves in them because everyone is us pushed out. We do the same thing that we say they do. So observe then when you say about another person, they're doing this thing that is inharmonious, and reflect back on yourself and see where you created them within to be that, to reveal an aspect of yourself that you are still in the process of evolving. Now, this does not mean that they'll stop doing it, but you will understand the cause and effect relationship better, and you'll be from a greater place of understanding that all is individual expressions of the same mind, and all is part of overall consciousness rising. And as reflecting, when we go back to the earlier part of the discussion, as consciousness rises, the level of complexity of consciousness increases, and the level of ability to live with complexity also increases. This means that you have a greater ability to embrace nuance. You have a greater ability to understand that there are two opposites of the same element in existence, and those elements serve a purpose, and understanding the cause and effect relationship to consciousness rising creates a sense of peace. And through this process, you are able to value the nuanced variation between these two extremities, so you can then have the appropriate thought, emotion, action that moves you forward in a way that's related to the golden rule to bring forth what you desire. These gifts of speech and mind are some of the most important elements to bring forth what we desire. speech reflects what is in our mind. It expresses our beliefs. When we write something out, when we express ourselves, we can reflect upon the reflection of what we have projected outwards and ask ourselves, is this empowering to ourself? Is this belief that we have externalized through our speech reflective of the belief of the golden rule? Does it contribute to evolving myself, or does it operate from a place of denying evolution, which is usually in the scope of, I already knew that and I disagree, ego-based elements that fails to realize one of the important elements in the Kabbalion, that all truths are half-truths, and no matter how adamant we are about one truth, it might not be applicable in another circumstance. And this is the understanding of the complexity and the embracing of it as we rise up in consciousness. Charles Haanel says, "We know that the universe is governed by law, that for every effect there must be a cause, and that the same cause under the circumstance, under the same conditions will invariably produce the same effect. Consequently, if prayer has ever been answered, it will always be answered, if the proper conditions are compiled with. This must necessarily be true, otherwise the universe would be chaos instead of cosmos." So to create reality from a place of consistency to peace and bliss within, we follow the golden rule. We live by the golden rule. We identify programming within our subconscious mind that violates the golden rule, and we evolve the programming within using the golden rule. And as a result of doing this, our desires are understood and externalized to be in alignment with divine will. Our will is aligned with divine will. And the bridge of incidents leading to the manifestation of what we desire is also in alignment with the golden rule, which is one of bliss and harmony within. Now, this increases as we bring forth what we desire. This is why it's important to create something, to make a commitment to yourself that you're going to use what you are learning to bring forth what you desire and evolve within. Go on the journey of self-realization, self-evolution, and enjoying the journey and seeing it as contributing and as valuable as the destination. Through the process, you release beliefs that no longer serve you, that are not contributing towards the realization of the golden rule, which is living by the golden rule, which is changing the programming within to be in alignment with the golden rule. Large ideas have a tendency to eliminate all smaller ideas, so it is well to hold large ideas enough to counteract and destroy all small or undesirable tendencies. This will remove innumerable, petty, and annoying obstacles from your path. You will also become conscious of a larger world of thought, thereby increasing your mental capacity, as well as placing yourself in a position to accomplish something of value. So by meditating upon the golden rule, you automatically, and you will notice this, you will transcend the limiting beliefs that binded you, because the golden rule is a pinnacle rule. And through the pinnacle rule comes supporting beliefs, elements that encourage you, that uplift you, that bring forth your desire in a harmonious way, based upon meditation and creating what you desire via the golden rule. And this will eliminate the smaller ideas that he's referring to, the smaller ideas being smaller, petty-based elements that break your faith and cause you to deny yourself the belief that all things are possible, and also take your attention away through reactivity and move you into a different direction, which is impressing your subconscious mind and externalizing the elements that are not in the direction of what you desire to create. The real secret of power is consciousness of power. The universal mind is unconditional. Therefore, the more conscious we become of our unity with this mind, the less conscious we shall become of conditions and limitations. And as we become emancipated or freed from conditions, we come to a realization of the unconditional. We have become free. The way to unconditional love, which is one of the highest forms of consciousness, as discussed in the Levels of Consciousness by David Hawkins, is through acceptance. Acceptance is found within, and what is within is acceptance of others and acceptance of self. And the way we accept others and the way we accept ourselves is through understanding that we can have what we want from a place of joy, bliss, and ease by not taking away from another. And we do this through the golden rule. Do unto others as you wish done unto yourself is the firm belief that you can have whatever you want through the spirit of harmony with others. And what they want is also what you want, which is the harmoniousness. In this way, conditions are produced, and we find that our lives are simply the reflection of our predominant thoughts, our mental attitude. We see then that the science of correct thinking is the one science, that it includes all the other sciences. Cross-referencing cause and effect of thought to the outer world from the inner world, and even reflecting upon cause and effect that is seen in the outer world, is the way to right thinking. And right thinking is in alignment with the golden rule. And when meditated upon and cross-referenced and internalized and impressed on the subconscious mind, all one knows and understands is right thinking that is related to the desired outcome. I always say this, I say, all things, all people, environment, circumstance, and information is contributing towards your definite chief aim. How so? By looking at all information that's presented to you and saying, all of this has symbolic meaning, and this meaning is found within. It is either meaning that I've assumed to be true from past experiences or information that I learned from others, or it's meaning that is evolved from within via the golden rule. And if it is not in alignment with the golden rule, I can choose to change it. The reason why I choose to change it is that if I choose to bring forth what I desire via the golden rule, then I take away from no one and I contribute to everyone. And since all of everyone is individual expressions of the same mind, then they're all moving towards the higher consciousness, which is the realization that all can be experienced in reality from a place of harmony with all. And harmony with all is the doorway to understanding infinite intelligence, the possibility and the potentiality that everything can be created from a place of contribution and abundance and not taking away from anything or anyone. And as we continue on this journey of refinement, we move into higher states of consciousness. And in order to move to higher states of consciousness, the same process is repeated, reflecting upon the external conditions, circumstances, people, environment, and information, and evolving meaning within to a higher level upon reflection of the golden rule. If you want to copy this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.